How you doing? So, the title of this video is Hercules Good for Beginners. So, I'm taking my 3-star Hercules in Act 4 against Maestro. So, I just want to let you know this is probably not going to be the most accurate showcase because for beginners because I am running Suicide Masteries, I'm running Liquid Courage and Double Edge. And Hercules does benefit quite a bit from running, Liquid Courage and Double Edge. But if you're a beginner, you're most likely not going to be running Liquid Courage and Double Edge. So I do have a 4-star in my beginner's account, but it's not Awaken. I think Hercules, he's okay for beginners if he's unawakened. And I'll probably do another video with my 4-star Hercules unawakened if he's actually like pretty decent. But I think I'll give you a short story. I think he's decent, not great, unawakened, but decent. But I think what makes Hercules really good is not only good is his awakened ability, and preferably at max sig. I mean, without it, I think he's decent, not great. So, as you could see, I just want to remind you, I am running Suicide Masteries. So this is probably not the most accurate showcase for beginners because you're probably not likely going to be running Suicide Masteries. But um, I just want to let you know I could have played this game better going through Maestro, but this is not about is Hercules good for advanced players. No, this video is about is Hercules good, if not great, against a great for beginners. So it's not about if this is great for advanced skill players, Hercules. This is about if Hercules is great for beginners. So, like I mentioned, I didn't play perfect in this gameplay. This was only one-time gameplay against Maestro. So, so there you go. So I do think, like I mentioned, his awakened ability and preferably at max sig, especially as a 4 or 3-star, it's gonna be very helpful if you're a beginner. Later on this gameplay, I was using Hercules, and his awakened ability and really his max sig came in handy. So there you go. So what is this? uh I am using full, trying to use them with synergies, and probably not the most accurate either because I have that quake synergy where it gives like 3 evades, which is really helpful. That's why I think without it I would have probably never did so well, like better than I could have in this fight. Like the what is that, Nick Fury and Quake synergy saved me a couple times, I believe, in this fight. So it was really helpful. That's all I can say. So as a 3-star, you take a lot of block damage, because your opponents that are how much attack exactly? Let's see. 1321. That's not the highest, but if you're like, if you I only have a 3-star, that's like it's really strong. Especially if you miss a parry and you just block opponents' hits, it takes a lot of damage. And I don't think I've gotten hit so far in this fight. And look at my health. you know, I, I'm already down to 17%. It's crazy. Yeah, I took some recall masteries, but I did get some of that back from willpower. So it's not really like it's all recall power, recall mastery that I'm losing health on. It's mostly from block damages. So, the question is um, Hercules good for beginners? I think he is, but like I mentioned, he needs to be awakened, and preferably at max sig. And I didn't quite uh, play him perfectly as I mentioned, but I want to just really, he's not very difficult to play. That's why I think he's good for beginners. I think for highly skilled players, he's definitely going to be more, optimal. But for beginners, I think he's pretty decent. You just pretty much to gain a charge, you parry and you do a heavy like there. See, I know I didn't do for some reason I didn't do it in the last fight, but that's how you want to start the fight. You just want to parry, and then do a heavy, and you gain a charge from there. Uh, once in a while, as a beginner, you're probably not gonna know how to intercept, but once in a while you might get lucky with intercept, so you'll also gain another charge. Also, if you're a beginner, you're likely to going to get hit a lot, so every time Hercules gets knocked down and he gets back up, he actually gains another charge. So as a beginner, like I mentioned, he's pretty decent. The biggest issue I have with Hercules is, he doesn't have any way to regen, and that's always the biggest issue I have when it comes to uh, champions, especially for beginners. If they have no way to regen, it's really hard to beat opponents, or at least multiple opponents. As you can see, I haven't got hit once. I took some block damages, but I'm at 60% health. I'm at 6% health. As far as I know, I don't think I have got hit once. As you can see, my what do you call this? Awaken ability, preferably at max sig. I was able to, you know, last a little longer when it comes to this fight against Maestro. So I didn't get hit, but I took a parry damage, which ended up getting me like, that degeneration. So that's why I lost. But here I played, pretty well. I mean, that's as good as you can get, really. Like, you know, uh, but but still, you know, I did. I did like what? Use one revive. Still not bad. As you can see here, uh, I'm taking block damage because it's only a 3-star, and thanks to Hercules, awaken ability, really at max sig, I was able to not quite solo Maestro, but only with one revive, a 20% revive. That's not bad. You know, uh, I could be wrong, but I don't think I took one hit in that fight, and like really, that's the biggest issue I have with Hercules. But like that's why his awaken ability, and really preferably max sig, is reasonable. So it wasn't quite like accurate because I was running Suicide Masteries and I have like full synergy with Hercules. So in here I went somewhere an easier fight in Act 4. I took out some synergies with with Hercules. Yeah. So keep in mind, this is only a 3-star. Okay, I know this is like in the beginning of Act 4, and you can see that my opponents have less PI than I do, but that's because I'm running Liquid Courage and Double Edge. But if I didn't, I would probably have the same amount of PI as they are, if not less. So what is this? As you can see, even a 3-star at Mac 4, he's doing pretty well. And in this fight, as you can see, I did go easier fights in Act 4, just pretty much at the beginning. And he's holding up his own. And I think on this fight, on this quest, no synergy, just Hercules himself as a 3-star in Act 4. I mean, able to solo fights, which is really good. And spoiler alert, I didn't use any revives in this one. No revives, 3-star Hercules, no synergies. The only thing is not make this not very accurate is I'm running Suicide Masteries, so he's gonna hit quite a bit harder with it. And like I mentioned, I do have a 4-star, but it's an awaken in my beginner's account. So Hopefully I can, once I can dupe him, or if not, if I explore Act 4, I'll get that Awakening gem and take him to Max Sig, and let's see what he can really do. It's a 4-star. So as you can see, even at 3-star, he does pretty well, you know. So let me just go over how to use Hercules again. For beginners, it's really not difficult. So like I mentioned, if you're more skilled, you can really take advantage of Hercules. But as a beginner, you just parry heavy, you gain 1 charge. So it's actually, there you go, I got lucky there with the intercept, I gain another charge. So Hercules, he's not the easiest champion to play with, but at the same time, it's not difficult to play with either. So I think for beginners, he is pretty good. I think he's pretty good, if even great, if assuming he's awakened and he is Max Sig. And the fact that he's gonna benefit a lot too from running Suicide Masteries as well, if you have access to them, makes him even better. So I think even without Suicide Masteries, he's gonna be pretty decent champion. I think. And then if you're gonna, have him awaken at Max Sig, I think he's a pretty good champion. I think if I was going to do my 2022 update as far as best champions for beginners, Hercules will likely make it to the top 5 on that list. Don't know who to take out on my top 5 list for best champions for beginners, but I think Hercules, and if I had to redo in the 2022 update for best champions for beginners, I think Hercules would probably make it in the top 5. What do you guys think? Does Hercules deserve to be in the top 5 as best champions for beginners? I think he has some top competition, because some of his competition, they have a like Groot, King Groot, I mean, Diablo. They have a way to regen so much health that they're more sustainable. But at the same time, Hercules, with his awakened ability at max, preferably at Max Sig, he can last quite a bit, because he gains like this indestructible buff, and if you're, and he does pretty well. It kind of reminds me of Corvus. He does take time to ramp up, but and he takes longer to ramp up than Corvus in a way. Maybe not longer, but that's debatable. Who takes longer to ramp up? Because with Hercules, you just pretty much need like certain fight. You can gain charge every fight, pretty much. I think with Corvus, you have to win certain fights to gain charges. But with Corvus, you can gain like 3 charges in like one fight. So you can be almost fully ramped up in just one fight. So, and with Hercules, it takes at least, I believe, 4, right? 4 fights at the very minimum. And if you're not lucky, it might take you about 6 fights. Not 6. Let's see. Yeah, 6 fights to fully ramp him up. But if once you have him at fully ramped up, which I do have now, it hits really, really hard. I mean, like close to Corvus as probably when it comes to damage wise. So what do you guys think about Hercules? Is he good for beginners? In my opinion, I think he is good for beginners. Thank you.